Hey,
Hey, hey,
how are you?
hey. I am great. How are
Oh
you?
my God, we're early. We're
Early,
5 minutes early instead of 10 minutes late.
early crew. Hey, Kim Maple. I see you.
Yes, ma'am. Kim's so sweet.
I
She's
know
a
it.
she's a ride or die.
She is.
Is boy that
She
may
is
be
the
a
rider.
poor choice of
I
words
love, I
on this
love
channel.
I love your top going on there.
Oh, thank
I
you.
absolutely love it.
You know what? I like this top too, and I just took it out of a dry cleaning bag that it's probably been in for I don't know a couple years.
It is gorgeous.
Well, thank you. What I had on?
Absolutely. What do you
Yeah.
got for us today? I'm excited.
Oh, well, you know what? The choice of words that I just used when I said that Sweet Kim was a ride or die. Well, you know what? I said that that could be a poor choice of words to use in light of the things, some of the things we're going to talk about. So,
Hey, Sarah.
on that note, right out of the gate, I would like to before we get into this, I just want to talk about something very quickly that happened today on your channel. I
Mm-hmm.
am. I'm not going to give this person's name. They know who they are, and anyone who was in your chat today knows who I'm talking about. But it's not really so much about who I'm talking about. It's it's the interaction and what happened, and I want to address it because to me, it was a little bit absurd, and I think if excuse me, if you're going to be in this genre, either as a creator or as a consumer of true crime stories. Um, so here's what happened. So someone made a comment about Liza Fletcher, who quite tragically was killed. I think it was, oh God, I think it was in the very beginning of the week. Um, she is a, she was, and now get this. I keep hearing her billed as the billionaire heiress. Interestingly enough, obviously she was much more than that. She was a wife, a mother, really a young woman. I, you know what? I screenshotted it. I'll tell. I am gonna when we talk more about her. I'll give you her age, but
Okay.
she was killed by a disgusting, vile waste of skin named Cleotha Henderson um, in Memphis, Tennessee. She was out jogging and he spotted her and stalked her basically for, I believe I heard this afternoon that he laid in wait about 25 minutes. That's just what they caught on surveillance, how long he waited until she, I guess, ran by him. At any rate, something about it, that's not what you were talking about today. You were addressing yesterday that you had,
Mm-hmm.
talked about Kylie Rodney briefly, or, for the entire episode, whatever the case was. Um, and I, some, someone in the chat brought up this case of Eliza or Liza Fletcher. And I said, that's so sad. And can you believe that in this day and age, a woman was out running at 4:30 in the morning? And oh boy, despite the fact that I am not kidding you, every person I have talked to about this case off of YouTube. So, my husband, my son, who very much has an interest in true crime, probably from, growing up watching mommy watch ID channel. And no, calm down, everybody. I didn't have my son watching ID channel. But, as he got older, he would occasionally wander in and out of my room while I was watching ID. And my mother, who, well, she's older now. And you know how lots of times people, when they get older, well, they talk about news without fail. Oh, and my husband, who doesn't give a damn about true crime. So across the spectrum, from this end to this end, each person I have talked to about this case off of YouTube in my real life, what do you think is pretty much the first thing they say after how sad and tragic this is? What would be your guess as to the next thing they would say?
Oh, certainly the being out at 4:30 a.m.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Does that justify it? Does that make it any less awful? Of course not. If I had any idea that very spontaneous and not absurd comment would have drawn the fire that it did, well, I would have definitely, being a person with a little bit of class and manners, had I known that there was someone who was obviously so oversensitive and clearly over involved in this case, and I don't, she's not related to any of these people. If she is, she certainly never said so, and I certainly do not believe she was. But I did make the comment. I was immediately, she lit into me. This was someone I have had interactions with in the past, always very nice. She has left comments on my videos. She's been in my lives, and she's still welcome there. I just think that I don't believe I deserved to get lit into like I was. I did apologize, and I didn't give a backhanded apology like many people do. It wasn't, I didn't say, well, if I hurt your feelings, I'm sorry. No, I said, I apologize. I hurt your feelings. That was not my intention. Well, that was not good enough. Then she started in on you when you dared to, just say, hey, wait a minute. I know Lisa off of YouTube. We talk on the regular. She said I was victim blaming.
Mm-hmm.
I would never, ever, ever do that. I think her overreaction it speaks more to whatever might be going on in her world, that she was so unhinged by something that I said that, to me, if you don't think that I would guess 9 out of 10 people across this country, when they hear the awful details of this, if you don't think that 9 out of 10 people said, oh my God, some variation of, what in the world was a woman doing out jogging at 4:30 in the morning? Not to mention, by the way, I think Memphis, Tennessee is rapidly they're on track to probably put themselves in the most dangerous city in America if they're not already there. Um, so before we start talking about that case or any others, I just want it very well understood that neither myself nor you would ever blame any victim
Mm-mm.
for some horrible attack, God forbid death, that happens to them because of something they were doing. And I think it's very unfair to try to have portrayed what I said as as that. I mean, that's basically what she said I was doing. And out of her own mouth, she did say, I am heartbroken over this case, and a few more comments in that vein. So,
Yeah, it was a little.
I
It was shocking. I think I didn't realize what was going on because I read the chat, but evidently missed some. But I didn't. I guess I couldn't wrap my mind around, because I've seen. I don't know. I've seen people say things when it comes to true crime that really truly is shocking and obnoxious and crazy. And I was like, wait a minute, something's got to be off because it just wasn't a comment that, at least to me, that didn't feel, malicious for Pete's sake. Jail 2 years too. Oh, he only did 2 years. Is that right?
are
I
you
know her glasses are amazing. I
are
don't
you
know.
sorry?
Addicted Mind said, "Yep, out of jail for 2 years." Yeah, no, yeah, absolutely, Monroe. And it's and a good point to make too is when it comes to true crime, if anybody wants to hear super professional opinions that are worded to blanket and nestle everybody in tight to make them feel safe and sound and use very safe words and phrases and things like that, we're not professionals.
No, that would be the
We're
evening news.
literally up here just shooting the shit, and we may not say things right, we may never say anything right or to please everyone, etc., and so on. So I definitely want that to be clear to everybody that listens, is this is not a safe place, it's not a safe channel. This is a place where we cut up about people's clothes. We talk about true crime. We may have opinions on things, and we may have things come out of our mouth that may sound to other people, rub them the wrong way. Um, and
I'm trying to get
okay,
all the
addicted
way
mind.
up to the.
I flipped out and accused of being tacky and victim shaming and ask you if you got ard or cade. Should we assume it was dumb? Nobody said it was dumb. Okay, I'll put it to you this way, addicted mind, and being honest with you. Let's say I was out jogging, running, what have you, 4:30 a.m. Remember, we're not joggers or runners, so that is not commonplace to most people. It takes a really super dedicated athlete to do that. Or let's say basketball. Let's just turn it into that. If God forbid something happened to me and I was snatched up while playing a game of basketball, by myself at a basketball court at 4:30 a.m. and Lisa heard about it, I would not doubt for 1 second her first words would be, "Why was she playing basketball at 4:30 a.m.?" Would that mean that she is saying I'm dumb or victim blaming me? No, it just means that's
No.
that's a kind of a shocking kind of time of mourning, especially to those who are into true crime, because to me, even being out past 8:30 or whatever when it's dark right now is bizarre to me. Even walking at 10 at night would be weird to me, just because we don't, and I feel like I can speak for Lisa. We're not marathon runners. That would not be a normal thing for most of the people I know to, do.
And even if
People
I
that are into
was,
it, sure.
even
Yeah.
if I
Yeah.
was, I just
It's not safe.
it. Yeah, no matter where you live. In fact, I was telling my husband, if I was in a, if I was running in a gated community with a guard, driving around in a little golf cart all morning. I
Yeah,
still wouldn't do it. Does that mean that I what I find so very to make something awful and tragic all the more awful and tragic, it is the fact that in my mind it could have been preventable.
absolutely. Just because you should research marathon runners, but I mean, but can I
This
be
isn't
kind,
about
addicted?
this
We
isn't
don't
about
care.
runners.
Yeah, we're not, that's only a small part of it. She was running. I mean, how do we know she wasn't just running for the sake of running that morning? Was she getting ready for a marathon? I don't know. But I'm just saying, I feel like it's being picked apart, and it is assumptions. But the fact is she was running at 4:30 a.m. That's how the story went. Why she was doing that? Maybe because she was getting ready for a marathon, maybe because she likes to run. But the fact is, a woman by herself at 4:30 a.m. running is at more risk to get snatched up at 4:30 a.m. running
Yeah.
than a woman who is in the bed sleeping in a secure home at 4:30 a.m. That is not a kick to anybody, a knock, a blame. That is just a fact.
Yeah.
And I'm
It's
sorry
not
if
about
you're offended by that, but and please don't say that nobody's letting it go, because I did let it go, and you left a huge comment stating the things you're saying in here now. So we are going to call it a day with it, but I just want to make it clear you didn't say that was not. Look, it doesn't matter. We're going to offend you guys. I was condescending. Well, I may be again. I told you I'm fickle. I change my mind about things. I'm not going to sit here and powder anybody's booty behind. I'm not a babysitter, not going to do it. I have been respectful to everybody. Lisa has also been respectful. I'm not going to discuss it, and I'm going to speak for her too. We're not discussing that part any longer. If there are not grown-ups and big girls and big boys in here, it might be a good idea to click off, because we're going to talk about topics tonight that may offend a lot of people, or they may take it the wrong way. Who knows? But I do appreciate all of you listening. Okay, what do we know about the case?
okay. Oh. Um
Okay, I got triggered. Does that make you feel better? Woo, I'm triggered. Woo, triggered. Okay,
huh?
go ahead. Evidently, we're triggered.
What did I miss?
Oh, God. I'm triggered. This is me triggered.
Well,
Okay.
I'm the one who brought it up, and I brought it up at the very beginning. It I if I'm wrong in what I'm about to say, then
Who gives
I'm
a
wrong.
shit?
I'm wrong.
Just say it.
It seems to me that this is apparently something that I don't think there's anything we can say at this point that's going to be right or correct. So I say it's
Yeah,
done. And
we're
I
just
will
gonna
say
say it the way we're gonna say it, and
I
people will take it or they won't, and that's it.
okay. So well, let's see. There's a couple things. Oh, have you followed the Delphi case?
I have.
Okay. Closely?
Pretty close. I dropped off a little bit, but I kind of know in
Okay.
general,
Okay.
unless something new has popped up.
Well, apparently for the last 3 weeks, which this is new to me, I did not realize. Now I knew that there was movement in this
Hmm.
case. And apparently for the last 3 weeks, they have been combing. Is that the right word? The Wabash River. And
Mm.
particularly the north bank. And I think it was Fox. It was one of the Fox News affiliates who had a quote from an FBI agent, retired FBI, who's
Hmm.
oh, you know what? I took a screenshot. Let me see what they said. Because
Oh, you've been to. Oh, my next to read said that they've been to that bridge in Delphi, and it's creepy. I bet it is.
let me tell you, it looks. Would you have gone across that bridge? Like, I guess
Gosh,
as a
no.
kid. See, I would no way.
Yeah, well, probably as maybe as a kid, but gosh, I just have a fear of
Oh,
bridges like that, train bridges especially. I feel like I'm gonna fall through.
yeah. Yeah, and it's God, how
But
high
I
up is?
can't see how young girls would want to do that.
Oh, absolutely, especially in this age of, social media and pictures. It is a really cool photo.
Oh yeah.
Um, you know, when they brought up that, oh God, what is that disgusting Keegan Klon? Is it Keegan? Is that his name? The suspect.
Oh yeah.
Um, okay,
Oh,
so
sweaty beast he is.
oh my God, and you know, there was something that occurred to me when they played the recording over and over and over. At the time, the only thing they released, and really seemingly the only thing they had, which was the, how did he say it? Down the hill. Is that what he said?
Yeah, down the hill.
Okay. Well, do you remember when they came out with the fact that he was catfishing with, he was using this male model's
Mhm.
pictures as his own, and he was
Mhm.
catfishing? You know, the light bulb went on for me, and it's always, obviously everyone has speculated about what did that mean, down the hill. You know what I think it meant? If it is this guy, and I think there's a very good chance that it is. Do you know what I think that meant? Why he said that to them? Well, you saw pictures of the guy, right? The who he was pretending to be, who was actually
Yes.
he was a firefighter in Alaska. Clearly, if he set up a meeting with the two girls, obviously he didn't look anything like what they were expecting. And
No.
my thought was, when he saw the girls and they probably gave him the side eye, like, what the, oh my God, who the hell is this? I think when he said down the hill, I think he said, or they gave him the side eye. And how about if he said to them, oh, hey, are you here to meet, Jimmy? I'm his
Oh,
driver, or I'm his whatever. He's down the hill. He's down the hill. Go that way.
interesting perspective.
I I mean,
Hmm.
I think they are going to solve this. What they're looking for in that water, I don't know. They never released the manner of death, did they, on these two girls?
I don't think so. I have heard there is a channel on here, and I can't, maybe the audience knows. There's a channel that is 100% dedicated to that and that alone
Oh,
that I
okay.
listened to, and there was speculation of, you know, how they were, what the scene looked like. We'll just say that.
Right.
And oh gosh, it sounds terrible, but what could they be looking for in water?
Well, they could be looking
That's
for a gun. They could
strange.
be looking for a gun. They could be looking
Oh
for a
yeah,
knife.
duh,
Um,
true.
I I mean, what else could it be? It's got to be
And
a
the
weapon.
down the hill, it didn't sound to me like he said it, not that he would have had to, I guess, but to me, it didn't say like he said it like, in a forceful,
Right,
it was
right,
just
right.
kind of
Go down
calm
the hill
way,
now.
down
Because
the hill.
don't you think that
Yeah.
if it had been more of a, a scary kind of thing, like do what I'm telling you, wouldn't it stand a
Mhm.
reason that, I mean, I don't know about you, but it, if it was something like that, I don't care if he had a gun or a knife. I'm going to run my ass. You're going to, I would just think that would be the instinct to be, to start running at least. So that's why it made me think, well, maybe he said down the hill the way he did was because, as a way to get them where he wanted them, more in a controlled environment off of that bridge, maybe it
Mm-hmm.
was like, oh yeah, well I'm Jimmy's whatever, his assistant, his driver, his, because supposedly that profile that was created was, I mean, obviously he was quite good looking. Um, it was money, cars, travel, everything that any young girl would. My God, you couldn't wait to meet up with him. So I don't know. I would not be at all surprised when it. Hopefully, it is solved. But
Absolutely. I guess it just, and hello everybody. Hey Fuzzy and Perpetual and Hippie I think I said hi. Everybody, anybody I missed up through there. Kim, we can't mod anybody while we're in StreamYard. I have my phone on charger. It just croaked out. So once it gets back on, we'll work on that. But yeah, I think the big mystery is, even though it's not solved, I mean, obviously they found them and they know what, at least what happened, the outcome is not favorable. But I think it is just a pure mystery of what went on in that short, we're assuming, amount of time is mind blowing. There's two girls, you got to imagine. Certainly when I was young, I think I would have probably took off and ran. I'd have said, "Ew, scary,
yeah,
ew," and gone. You know what I mean? Probably left my friend behind. To be honest with you, just been a matter of, hey, you better run
but
with
think
me.
about it.
Uh,
How many times do
that's
you
yeah.
remember being a young girl? Either, well, for me, it would have been, well, yeah, in middle school, like eighth grade, before you have a car or you have friends with a car because you're still in middle school. Do you remember like telling your mom to take it in the mall? Oh, we're just gonna hang out, and you're meeting some boy
Hmm.
there or whatever. I mean, that's what
Absolutely.
kids do. So, but the retired FBI did say that what it appeared to him from just looking from the outside in with his experience, obviously, that they were searching, primarily, I'm almost positive it said the North Bank, and that it
Hmm.
it looked like they were doing a grid search. So,
Wow.
uh,
Oh, well, I hope that it lands them something that's gonna
oh God,
put all this to bed, and whoever did this is gonna, they're gonna get
so
theirs.
sad. Just
It
so,
is. It
that is such
is.
a sad. Those, I mean, God, they're just the cutest little
Oh,
things.
I know. And they were
I
probably having such a good day, and
oh,
they were excited and
so
having fun,
sad.
and that's just ugh, it makes me sick.
It
Ugh.
is. I just.
I want to say this. My next to red says that area is by highway, very remote. I don't know if I would let my kids go there alone. Maybe that's, well, yeah, and it was a walking trail, right? Like that's a place where a lot of people would
Was it a
would frequent.
that
I
what do they
think.
call that? It they don't call it a bridge, do they? Is a railroad trestle? Is that what they call it? I've seen it referred to both ways.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the name of that? It's got a, God, I can't remember the name, because there's a name for that specific trestle. Or of course, do you think I can think of it now? No, of course not. Okay, so that was just a little tiny, y'all. We're just gonna touch on several things. We're not doing a deep dive on anything. Um, okay, so oh, how about this? Before 15 minutes before we came on, I did Google Summer Wells, Jonesboro, Arkansas
Mm-hmm.
sighting. Then I backed all of that up just to sighting. There is nothing on Google. YouTube videos are the only things that come up in relation to, I guess it would have been from yesterday, the supposed sighting. in Jonesboro, Arkansas. Have you heard
I
much about it?
did. I did hear that. I think my internet may be breaking up, you guys. Am I good
You
now?
sound okay. We can hear you fine. I don't know if it's.
Okay, good.
Oh, now you're starting a robot.
Yeah, it's of
Okay,
course my
there you're
internet
better.
crazy.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I did. Uh-oh. Am I unroboting?
No, yeah, you're good.
I think I'm
We're
back.
good. Yep.
Okay, awesome.
Okay.
I did hear that. I didn't look into it too much because I think I was assuming that it would not be fruitful. So I have not been able to catch up with how that turned out.
If anybody in chat has seen anything to the contrary than what I just said, but let us know. But up to, probably a half hour now, I could not find one thing. I did listen to a very few minutes of Tiffany Marie, and apparently someone in Jonesboro. Now, here's the part I'm not sure on because I only saw a few minutes. The way the comment came up, it looked like this person, and I'm certainly, I hope anyway, I'm wrong about my interpretation, which is this person sees what they think is a child that looks exactly like Summer, wanted to know, does she have any at a motel in Jonesboro, wanted to know if she had any scars or birthmarks. And I thought to myself, please tell me that they didn't go to YouTube for this before the police. I I know the authorities were called. I'm assuming they were called before they came to YouTube to ask these questions, but apparently they had their whole friends, family, everyone they knew of was scouring uh, motels, hotels. There was something else, another place. Oh, and the only other thing I saw that I thought, oh, well, that's telling. Tiffany Marie said in response to a comment she had pinned that Leslie, the TBI, is she TBI, the public information officer? What's her last name? Um, Damn, I can't remember. But anyway, apparently it was something about, well, TBI said they don't want to be bothered by the YouTubers, so don't call. Uh, Tiffany wasn't saying that, but that was the dialogue about the comment that was pinned. So I I think it was probably, well, clearly it's I couldn't find anything on Google except for the YouTube videos. So I'm assuming it's a there's no there. Did we lose you? Leslie Armro? No. God, what is that lady's name? It's making me nuts. Okay, well, I don't think. Oh my gosh. Yeah, there are no more toy stores, are there? We had a Toys R Us in our town until, oh, I don't know, at least a decade ago. Oh, what happened? We have two rabbits.
Something crazy.
Oh,
So I
now we
went
have
back
one.
out and came
Okay,
in.
we're
It's a
good.
little better
We're
now.
back. Okay.
Yeah. One
Earhart. Leslie
strange thing I
Earhart.
did hear is that, and it could have been, I don't know where I heard this, but um YouTube has me at the capacity of information I can store in my brain in a 24-hour time period. It starts knocking other things out. as I get new information. But I think somebody said that her hair was still shaved, which just kind of felt to me
Oh,
off.
I hadn't heard
Uh,
that.
yeah, I did hear that. I don't know how true it is. Just take everything we say with a grain of salt, because we're just telling you what we've heard. This is, not
Yes.
facts
Yes.
and all of
Yeah.
that.
Nope.
Um, but it seemed odd to me that they would obviously, if somebody had taken her and were trying to disguise her or what have you, I just really don't believe that they would still have her
Yeah,
in the same
continue to
haircut.
shave her head because
Yeah.
that is something that definitely even even in a little kid like her, um, even if she was, you know, dressed in a nice little dress or
Mhm.
that is still something that's going to make her stand out like the proverbial sore thumb.
Yep.
And you would not want that if if you were harboring her. So
Yeah.
quite
Agreed.
unfortunately, I don't. I mean, I would love for that to be the case, for her to be, off being loved and cared for. I just,
Yeah, and that's probably what fuels a lot of this, and I'm not saying don't have hope, but a lot of this hope people have. But
yeah.
if you notice, and I don't know why I thought about little Kaylee, Anthony, and then of
Oh,
course Kylie, and so many others that are very close to home, is where they end up being found. I know Kylie wasn't necessarily close to her home, but close to where she was last seen or thought
to
to be.
us
So
though, I don't think that was too far from
probably
where
not.
she lived.
And I do believe, just personally, you know, just my opinion, I think she's probably close.
Oh, I do too.
Yeah.
I do too.
And I hate to say that.
I think that's the reason they have gone back how many times now? Three, four in the,
Yeah.
whenever they do these large scale searches. What did they say the
Mhm.
last time that, oh, we had this planned when when all the leaves dropped off the trees? I didn't believe that for 1 second. I think they
Mhm.
had a tip that they thought was credible. Oh, do we know any more about Don? Isn't he? Last I heard,
He
wasn't
he
October gonna?
she should be getting close. And I don't think at this point law enforcement of any type, whether it be TBI, LE, local or not local, whatever the case, I think at this point just their personal run-ins with YouTube and all the craziness that ensued. Some's been helpful, some not so much, who knows. But I think that they will absolutely never leak even a teeny tiny smidge of anything
No.
because of that, just that alone. So when we do hear something from them, we'll know it's 100 million%.
Which brings to mind, actually, that's a perfect segue into something I wrote down here. Um, Let me find it. Well, I had taken just a few notes on Kylie, and what I wrote down as the YouTube effect. Does it help or
Oh
does it
yeah.
hurt? Because, okay, now we look at a little tiny jurisdiction like Hawkins County. I mean, I would be shocked if the entire sheriff's department is not contained in what probably is a single story building that in my town would be the size of, like, oh, I don't know, a bank, a small bank,
Mhm.
like a small bank branch. So you take that as opposed to Truckee, or is it Nevada County? Whoever has jurisdiction out there. I know you and I are both familiar with Truckee. We've both been there. Um, that, obviously it's, I mean, I'm guessing it's a bigger department and jurisdiction than Hawkins County, but I I just cannot imagine what anytime now a major crime happens in any jurisdiction. Can you imagine what
Oh
law
gosh.
enforcement has got to just sit back and go, oh my God, this is going to be a nightmare? And do you think that knowing that all the YouTubers, the good, the bad, the ugly, do you think that it helps in a way to have all these eyes and mouths on?
No. Well, I think
Or do you think
honestly,
it damages these cases?
if it were put on a scale, I think more damage than good. In other words, I think the
I
police would be
agree.
perfectly fine without any of it. I
Yeah.
think true crime really is for us. It's for the common man to,
Mm-hmm.
use their sleuthing skills. And I'm not
Yep.
saying sometimes there may have not been times that it's not been helpful. I'm sure it has been helpful.
Yeah.
And obviously,
Yes.
like the op team, they could absolutely do what they do without true crimers getting involved.
Mm-hmm.
They were doing this already. It is good that I know that they do work off of donations and things from YouTube, so that does help them with views and the money they make. It goes back into the service they provide. But as far as just basic true crimers, I think absolutely there is that it is really of no use per se to authorities and what they're doing. Maybe lightning strikes every blue moon and somebody, gets something right and it's helpful. But as far as I've seen personally, it's done nothing but create havoc, confusion, misinformation. Um, but that is mostly the people that are considered the authorities, and I use that term loosely, air quote, and everything. The people that
Mm-hmm.
just sit and shoot the shit about it and talk back and forth and just kind of share their
Like us.
feelings about things. Yeah, yeah.
But
I
you
think
know
it's for the
what?
common man.
I think what what we're doing is not problematic
No,
because you
no.
and I are not playing law enforcement. We don't
Mm-mm.
think that we know better or are better equipped. Like here's a thumbnail I saw this weekend. I'm not going to say who it was, but I'm sure you all will know. Um, and it was in relation to Kylie Rodney, and it said, I don't remember the exact title, but on the left side of the screen we had LE 0, YouTubers 2. I don't find that
Oh
helpful. I
gosh,
think that
no.
so much of this breeds a contempt
Yeah.
both ways. It us or not us, but some of the YouTubers to law enforcement and vice versa. And I think we are rapidly approaching the point where, especially in something like this Kylie Rodni case, where it's super high profile, and there are some very high profile people who are
Mhm.
very entrenched in this. If it hasn't happened yet, it's coming. And that is going to be when someone who they may very well have potentially helpful information will say, "Oh, hell no. I'm I am not about to put myself squarely in the middle of that shitstorm. I'm not doing it."
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Where they could maybe leave an anonymous tip, but things need to be followed up on, and it's coming. The time is absolutely coming where there is going to be such contempt both ways that someone's case that probably could have been solved or solved sooner.
Yes, agreed. I think this is
Oh, I didn't see
a
that
good
one.
comment. I think it hurts way
Looking at it now.
more than helps when you try to build a case. I do believe sharing pics/info on missing people or a wanted person, it can help. Appalachian Granny said.
Yes,
I agree. I
absolutely.
think there is a line. Because can you imagine all the tips that did pour in, because you have people that take any little thing somebody says, even if it's, I've
Mhm.
had people pop in my room, goodness, probably a few months ago, that would say something like, I know the grandma knows what happened, and and then I would ignore it, move on, and then they'd pop up and say she told so and so that she did this and that and the other, and you can't tell, is it a troll, is it not? I don't even entertain that kind of stuff because it's just too much. I mean, there's
And the comments, the remarks I was just making, y'all, I was not talking about some of the amazing creators and their channels that do bring awareness, and they
Mhm.
do really thoughtful timelines, research, etc. I
Yes.
am not, those aren't the people that I'm referring to. I'm talking about, you know, there are, and we all know, there are many, many, many channels and creators on here that think that they're a whole lot smarter than law enforcement. I
Mhm.
guess maybe it's my age. I mean, you can relate to this. We grew up in a time where we didn't have the internet. Um,
Mhm.
is law enforcement perfect? No. Are there bad apples? Yes, there are. Nobody nobody doubts that. But I just come from a time where you like you looked up to law enforcement. You were taught that
Mhm.
in school. That these are from the time you're little kids. You're taught these are helpers, and these are the people you go to when you're in need. And last time I checked, when somebody needs to dial 911, well, they don't call a YouTuber.
Oh,
So
yeah, good point.
yeah, I just think it's got to be. First of all, I think they should make, oh my god, so much more money. It to me,
For sure.
it's horrible that we don't pay cops, firefighters, paramedics, that we don't pay so much more. And then you get more people want to do these jobs. It's it's got to be a bitter, bitter pill to not only not make a fraction of the money that you should be, but to have a bunch of lay people who really don't know what they're talking about call you out on the, constant. When do you ever hear somebody say, well, rarely do you hear someone say, what a great job law enforcement did?
Yeah, to hear a lot of people talk, and this is paint with a broad brush, because there are, like you said, there's some wonderful YouTubers that really do the research.
Yes,
They're
there are.
very good at what they
Lots
do.
of them.
They're
Lots of them.
diplomatic. They look at all
Mm-hmm.
sides. They're not quick
Mm-hmm.
to jump. They don't point fingers, etc.
Yep.
But it has to be a kick in the teeth too. Some of the law enforcement that know just how much, or have an idea of just how much some of these YouTubers make, knowing that they're putting their lives on the line and making a fraction of what these
Yep.
people are doing. And I
Yep.
do think there's a place for true crime. I do think there's a place for people that want to help, but you understand
Absolutely.
where there becomes a problem is there is no gatekeeper to what the proper etiquette is when dealing with missing and exploited children or missing adults or crimes and helping investigate crimes, etc., so on. And that is a problem in and of itself because there is no policing of the true crimers. I mean, you've got your good ones,
Yeah.
you've got you're
Mhm.
really, really
And
bad
let's
ones.
face it, there's a segment of true crime that, well, they've got firsthand knowledge with the crime part. That's
Oh,
fine.
absolutely.
I
Yes.
said all the time, just because you were a criminal, well, that doesn't make you a lawyer. Doesn't make you a cop.
Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
To me, in where this is just my opinion, without too much, really deep thought on it, to me, where YouTubers can really be the most helpful is in the case of missing people. To me, that is probably where it is the most beneficial. The channels that do
Hmm.
that bring awareness, that keep people's names out. Let's see, what is this?
And I think it's helpful for the families
Not
too
Summer.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Nope, not her. Thank you, Ange, for bringing
Yes.
us that
And
update.
where did you hear that?
I want to take a guess and say shares. Is that right, Ange? I know she was kind of keeping quick updates throughout the day
Oh,
of
okay.
as it came in. Um, I think that it certainly I
Yeah,
think it certainly
fortunately, that doesn't
probably
surprise me.
makes the families feel better, I guess, to have because I know that the police have a lot to do. Yes, it was shares. Okay, good. Um, I know that the police have a lot on their plate and they get busy and maybe they can't talk to the families the way they would want to talk 24 hours a day. I can imagine if you were in that position, God forbid any of us are ever in that position. I pray
Uh,
not, but the ones
yes.
that
And the
are,
squeaky wheel gets the grease. I guarantee you that.
absolutely.
Yep.
And it probably feels good for them to talk to YouTubers that are passionate and are thinking, because we got people that latch on like a pit bull on here and won't let go. And that probably feels good to the family to know that somebody is right there with them in the
Oh my
trenches,
God,
worried about it,
absolutely.
digging in. And that's a beautiful thing, but
Yes.
it's a
Yes.
fine line, and I'm
I
not cut
think
out for
that's
it.
I think
God
that's
bless the ones that can.
I think that is a really, just my opinion, that to me is where the true crime community, that I mean, it put your efforts there, where, because these
Mhm.
jurisdictions, most of them are completely underfunded. They're constantly getting new cases. They don't have the benefit of being able to, you know every case deserves attention.
Yes.
And
Maybe some of these YouTubers should think about maybe having a place where families can come and let the
that would be
families talk.
amazing. That would be
Yeah,
amazing.
not so much the YouTuber getting involved, like, okay, we're gonna look at the neighbor and the babysitter and the dad and the this one and the ex and then that one, but
That's
just
where the
letting the families
YouTubers go
talk.
wrong. When they
Yeah.
start wanting to investigate on their own. It does. And I'm telling you, it's only a matter of time before, despite what I'm sure going in is great intentions, but you know what they say about the road to hell, what it's paved with. Um,
Oh yeah.
it Somebody's case, it's just logic. Eventually, some some YouTubers' interference is going to compromise someone's case. It's just, I mean, it's logic. But I think in terms of people are missing, especially really cold cases, that's that's
Mhm.
where the YouTubers could really do some good. And there's lots of channels that do.
Oh yeah. It is a different genre that likes to get involved with the and Appalachian Granny, I'm so sorry to hear about your birth mother.
Oh,
And
I
she
didn't
was
see
advised
it.
to stay off of social media when her mother was
Oh,
the
oh, I'm
M
so
word,
sorry.
and Ellie told them to stay off social
Oh,
media. And yes,
and that's probably
all the
in some small
condolences.
part why,
Uh,
because things get compromised.
mhm.
Oh, that's awful. Well, I mean, so Kaiser Rodney. just cannot fathom those poor parents who, I heard a channel that I love, Jules of Thought, although she's changed her name, and I think now the channel is Allegedly Innocent. She is a psychologist, and I was listening to her the other day, and I just totally lost my, damn it. It'll come back to me. Shit. God, getting old sucks. It was something about Kylie. Oh, she said that she didn't think they were hopefully seeing much of the YouTube insanity regarding their daughter's case because she said they are preppers who live off grid. How true that is, I don't know. Jules, I don't think rarely does she just speculate and put things out that have not been, confirmed somewhere. So I believe if she said that, it's based on something besides just, YouTube gossip.
Yeah.
And I heard someone today, this was interesting. I hadn't even thought about this. Okay, so the laptop that was found.
Mm-hmm.
I personally believe it's probably hers, but could it be that it's not?
That never crossed my mind, but you know what? Maybe it's not. But didn't the person who found it turn it into her like grandfather or her family or somebody, and then they turned it in? But
okay, so this is what I heard on YouTube. So take it as you will. I didn't have enough time to look outside of here. So here's all I know and what I have heard. And some of it came from the person who did find it. My understanding is someone was paddleboarding on that body of water, that Prosser Reservoir. Apparently it's quite clear where he was. So he looks down and he sees, supposedly from the paddleboard, a laptop with stickers all over the top of it. He quite naturally, because, let's just be real. If you live anywhere close to that area, well, you've probably driven out there to look at it. Why? I don't know, because it's just what we do. And supposedly he immediately calls law enforcement and says, I think that Kylie Rodni's laptop, I think I found it in the water. They supposedly say, okay, we'll get someone out. He says 4 hours later, no one has shown up. Obviously, at some point, he decides to retrieve it himself, and that's all I know. I don't know who ultimately it was handed off to. If that is true.
Okay, Ange asked what the new channel name is that you were speaking about.
Oh, Jules, it's called Allegedly Innocent. Jules, formerly known as Jules of Thought. I love Jules of Thought. She's funny. She's smart as hell. She's witty, and she gives her opinion and breaks everything down in a very kind of like we're doing, just conversational way. Yes, Allegedly Innocent. And you know what? I don't know why she changed her channel name, because she had, I want to say 30,000. She created her channel when the Chris Watts case was going nuts, and she I can't remember why I guess, I think what she said that there was just so much insane, crazy chatter that she wanted to, in her professional capacity, give, opine on that. So,
Yeah. Well, if you guys
um,
go to the channel and watch any videos, tell her Reality Bites sent
yes.
you there.
But so let me
Put
ask you
some
this.
put
If
some teeth as the little icon.
if if that is the way it happened, to me, I don't give a damn how short staffed you are. This is a national sensation right now, this case. There is no reason. 4 hours? I don't care if the damn
Yeah.
sheriff himself had to drive out there and get it. What? I mean, that just sounds insane to me. If it
Yeah, they
if
could
it
have
was
Ubered
in
it back.
fact what?
They could have sent an Uber for it.
I was gonna say, my God, they could have taken a damn helicopter and repelled. James
Yeah.
Bond style. I mean, seriously, they're already getting a lot of bad PR over this.
Mhm.
Why? I, it just seems shocking to me that they already have egg on their face because AWP found this car within minutes of entering the water. They couldn't find it for whatever reason. Um, you and I discussed something today very briefly that I will share, and that is when we were talking about, doing this episode tonight. I asked you if you knew, was there did, had they released the cause and manner of death? Um, you told me
Mm-mm.
no, not that you were aware of, and
No.
I told you that in my I did hear that there's a wildfire going. Um, I told you that in my opinion, I know the autopsy was done. I believe she was found on a Sunday. If I'm not mistaken, they were going to be doing the autopsy that Tuesday. I know toxicology will take several weeks, 4 to 6, I would imagine. But I promise you, they know the cause and manner of death. To me, the fact that they have not
Oh,
released
without a
it to the
doubt.
public, that tells me that my guess would be foul play is probably going to be involved. Just because, in my mind, it stands to reason that if things were pointing to an accident, why not? I would think they would want all of the attention that is focused on them at the moment to,
Mhm.
to die down if they could get it to. So that is strictly just my opinion based on nothing more than my own, what I would like to think of as common sense. However, I'm not a doctor or law enforcement.
Yeah, you would think
You?
that that would
What do you
everything
think?
inside the car would be of utmost importance. Like that
Yeah,
would,
you think.
that's literally
Mm-hmm.
possibly a crime scene. It just baffles me in so many cases. I mean, how many, and this is me saying this, and also, I would never be able to be law enforcement. They're cut from a different cloth. They're amazing people, and they put their life on the line. But there are so many instances that they just really look over really obvious things. This being a case, definitely where that's happened. I mean, why would you not want her laptop? I mean, why would you never even bother to close the windows on the car when you bring it to shore? It's that's
And
it's
wouldn't
negligent.
wouldn't common sense dictate that while they're standing before the car comes up. Obviously, they're standing there talking to, I think it was Doug from AWP. I mean, don't you think at any point in time they said, "Hey, did you see anything in the car of note?" Blah blah blah. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's a kid's car. Most kids' cars look, they look like they live in them. I
Yeah.
it, I don't know. What do you think about the? Well, let me ask you this: do you think when do you think that car went in the water?
Oh wow.
Parties, Saturday night or Friday night? Which night was Saturday night, right?
Um, it's Friday
Or
night,
Friday night?
and
Okay.
the only reason I'm going to say this, and I'm leaning this way for now, which could change, at any time, but the dude from AWP was on Zav Girls and said that the roadside assistance dude was legit. What he said was legit. And I think he was trying to say it without saying too much, which leads me to believe that the car did not go in until Saturday. So, one train of thought I had was they're trying to say, allegedly, possibly the girl that was there with the boy who called the road test dude out, that, that girl looked so similar to Kylie that, maybe Kylie was in the vehicle then and they were acting weird, etc. My train of
That
thought is,
Elsa or is that Sammy?
Mm, that would be Sammy, I think. But my train of thought is, what if, and I'm going out on a limb, what if that was Kylie that day? And what if there wasn't anything wrong and nothing went wrong until after Tow Truck Guy, which I know people say don't call him Tow Truck Guy, but whatever. That dude, what if that really was her that day? He saw her poster and it triggered something in his mind. Oh my gosh, I've seen that girl, so it leads me to believe if he is that reliable, and then what if that was her? And what if that story is true and something happened after the fact? Uh, excuse me.
Because how about, I know, more times, I hope my mom's not listening. I know there were many occasions in high school when I told a lie about where I was going and who I was
Sure.
with, and the old, "Oh, I'm gonna spend the night at Susie Q's house," wink and a
Hmm.
nod, and really, and then that one said she was staying at my house, and oh
Yep.
boy, that's
And
that's
everybody's
back in the
drunk in a
days of
field.
landlines. Yeah, and you'd like take phone off the hook up. So,
Yep.
I mean, I don't, I'm not saying that did happen, but kids haven't changed all that much from
No.
when we were kids. So, who knows? Maybe she, I don't know. I don't know. There
It's
The
a
only
hard
other
one.
thing I wanted to mention about the ancillary players here, um this week I also saw multiple thumbnails about Sammy lawyering
Hmm.
up. And the I'm going to say this, and I just wish that we could get to a place where, y'all, someone retaining counsel when they are even on the outermost fringes of any kind of criminal case, it does not point to guilt. It points to smarts. And my understanding is her parents are lawyers, and her parents are not representing her because no lawyer represents themselves. Not a good one anyway. Um,
Hmm.
so I don't. I know there's lots of chatter about her for many reasons. I don't know enough about her or her role in any of this to even comment on that. But I do, it just always makes me cringe when I see people start pointing the finger because someone has retained counsel. Y'all, I would tell anybody, always, if you can afford it, get a lawyer. Always.
Absolutely.
And if not, say nothing. Ever.
Mm-hmm.
Invoke your Fifth Amendment right. Whether you're guilty, not guilty, it doesn't matter. It doesn't make you look guilty. It just makes you look smart. So, and she may very well be problematic for any number of reasons. I'm not going to comment on that because I don't know. But I just, God, let's stop assuming that it points to guilt because someone is smart enough to, if, can you imagine anyone, if your child was anywhere close to this party, never mind as close as she was, and you were in a position to do it, would you not want your child protected?
Oh, for sure.
For anything. I would absolutely, without question, get my child an attorney.
And I think people forget that they have taken these kids, I mean, everybody's probably watched, I know it's definitely something I enjoy watching a lot, are the interrogation tapes that you can watch on YouTube, just tons and tons of them. And first, let me say I'd be a terrible interrogator because I'm sitting there thinking that guy's innocent. He's innocent. No, he's not. He's a serial killer. Okay. And then there are other times I'll be like, oh, guilty, totally guilty. No, he didn't do anything. Yeah. I'm like, oh, I'd be terrible. But, watching those, that they have taken those kids in and set them down separately. They know the cues. They know if anything looks weird. And I think sometimes where we're literally in this encapsulated world of YouTube all the time with the true crime people and all that, it's like we look to them. And I sometimes forget that there is actual factual news and police saying things that are factual. It's like it never dawns on me unless I see it on somebody's channel. But the truth is, they have interrogated those kids, and they know. We'll find out probably soon, but they certainly know. I think.
That it's funny because I always laugh and cringe when I hear YouTubers, and I've said it myself, but when you hear the obvious, well, law enforcement knows more than we do. Well, my God, I hope so.
I really, truly do hope so. Oh my gosh. Oh, people are legends in their own mind.
Yeah. But I do think that I think this case is going to have a resolution. My guess, and really it is a guess, because I have not been obsessed with this case like so many. I have paid more attention in the last, since she was found.
Yeah.
And my guess is I think there was foul play involved. I don't know whether it was an accident that then became a crime, or I mean, God, it's really, is it hard for you to wrap your mind around kids this age, like this being a crime from the get-go? Like, this one didn't like her, so they, insert.
Oh, it's not a far stretch. Yeah, and even when I'm watching true crime, like at night, and it's not, live stream YouTuber type people, it's mostly huge channels that just show, like professional channels that show solved cases and
Like
stuff. And
us.
yeah, like us, exactly. And then it will be a lot of it. I try to avoid the stuff about teens or kids. It just seems extra creepy and bad. But many times, yeah, it's a case where there's, a jealous girlfriend or friend or ex or just random. I mean, kids getting together and deciding, look, you know, oh well, it's time for this one to their numbers up. I mean, for any reason. Kids are crazy in that at that age, the teen years and stuff, some crazy stuff. The only thing I question, because Scott H showed it, himself in an actual CRV or whatever that car is, and
Mhm.
how he himself actually fits, how long it would take to basically, and not in water, mind you, but from the back to the front, which gave a really good visual. But
Oh,
yeah, but and all of that made so much sense to me, and it kind of got me thinking, okay, what if it was an accident? But then the only thing I cannot get past for me, because where she was found, unless she was bound or something crazy, I can't understand how, if the hatch was more towards the top of the water, which I'm assuming that it was at some point. So I can understand in a panic and in the dark and in the water, maybe inebriated or not, a person would maybe try to go towards the top. You know what I mean? Like, regardless, just in a panic. But I cannot, looking at the where the water was and where the land was, according to it, I just cannot figure how one would accidentally get into the water in the first place. That's where it stops for me, and I cannot buy
you mean
into the accident thing.
how the car got in the water
Yeah, like, in
accidentally?
other words, yeah, in other words, like, did she accidentally hit the gas? Did she, was it intentional on her part? You know what I mean? Like, she would have had to have some kind of crazy, crazy accident to have went into that water on purpose or on accident herself. That for me is what turns it into more of a homicide situation, because I don't see how that could have been an accident. If the car was mangled and in the bottom, okay, fine. She hit a million trees on the way, off the road and down a hill or something. But it just, that's where it drops off for me as far as it being an accident.
You don't think she could have, if she'd been drinking or under the influence? And you know how dark it is out, and
True, true.
you
But
don't
well,
see where
yeah,
she
I
could
guess
have.
that's true.
I mean, I don't.
I've had people explain it to me and say that it would be extremely, not impossible though, but extremely difficult. And I may change my mind on it, but yeah, I'm going to go with foul play, just because of the location, and just because the car didn't appear like it had crashed through anything to get there. So she literally would have had to just simply drove or rolled right into the water. That's just very strange.
Um. Oh, y'all! I forgot. I meant to do a banner. Damn it! Oh, I
Son of
think I
a
can do
bitch.
it while we're talking. Reality Bites has an email, and it is realitybites@protonmail.com. Let me see if I can. I'm gonna see if I can do that banner because a couple people have asked. So let me. I'm going to try and do it right. Yep, I can. Okay, so there was something else I was going to ask you about. Why can't I remember? I might have to look at my notes. D-O-N-M. Sorry, you guys. Okay, I think that is. Oh, Priton. No, that's not right. Shit. Okay. Oh, all righty. Let's see if it worked. There we go.
All right, all right, all right.
Okay. Um, there was something else I wanted to ask you about. Okay, we got that. We got the laptop.
So if you guys have any tasty little bites you want to send us,
Oh
send it
yes.
to that email.
Oh, now let me ask you this. What do you think? And much is being made of this, and
Ooh, Janica's gonna send you some pictures of her creations. Janica, I
oh
saw
yeah,
the
the
carved
table.
rabbit. Oh my
Is it
goodness.
amazing?
It's mind blowing. She's just so you're talented, Janica. I mean, that's just, that doesn't do you justice, but you are crazy talented.
Janica, there is a store in a little tiny town in Arizona called Jerome. Jerome is like an old, well, it was a mining town, and supposedly it's haunted. It is a super, super cool. You go, it's kind of near from Sedona. I want to say it's about an hour up this mountain. There is a store in Jerome. If you Google Jerome, Arizona, God, I wish I could remember the name of it. Just put in steampunk store. I saw the most, it sounds like what you do. In fact, I'm going to see if I can find the name of this store. I would love to see what you make, and I'm going to try. I'm going to see if this place, if I can dig up the name of this store. But just the most amazing pieces, and I am psyched to see what you have made. Do you sell your pieces?
No, and there it's just I guess I'm just
Why?
really in awe anytime somebody's like super crafty, it just blows my mind. I guess cuz I'm not. And
The
I
bum.
love it. I
Who's the
love seeing
bum?
people's creations. The bums absolutely.
That's a new name I don't recognize. Oh, here's what I wanted to ask you. Okay, much is being made of the fact that this party that has, I've heard anywhere from 100 to 300 kids in attendance, yet no pictures anywhere.
Yeah, I've
What do you
heard that
make of
there's
that?
a few pictures coming out now, but yeah, I
Oh,
find that
there are.
extremely that's what I've heard, but it does seem odd to me that there wasn't already a million posted pictures,
Yes.
prior. I can understand if maybe people got scared and took them down because they're like, "Oh
Like the
shoot."
parents. I
Yeah,
mean,
like
because if I
yeah,
was a parent, I'd have said, "You get that shit off your social media now." Uh,
absolutely.
oh, I actually, now that you say there are pictures coming out, yes. And you know what I saw? The one that said bar. They had like some kind of homemade
Mhm.
sign, and of course, all the faces are blurred out, but you can see, the quintessential red Solo cups and
Mhm.
what looked like all kinds of liquor bottles. And yeah, they were entrepreneurial little kids. They were looked like they were selling. I definitely
Oh,
saw shots.
wow.
Um, but does that that to me is one of the more strange aspects of this case, because I I don't know. I've been trying to work that one out in my mind. How do we not have any images? Because
Mhm.
those kids would have posted that shit
Oh, left, right, and
right
center. That's
there. Like, yeah, it's
yeah,
not like they went.
and it would be virtually impossible, um, to ever. Let's say I'm just saying for the sake of argument, because I know they said that one girl was like, everybody, teens all together, if y'all want to talk about anything you've seen, come to me and this and that.
Oh,
Uh,
that's Sammy.
Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
even in that instance, I don't care who you are. There's going to be no hierarchy that's going to be able to say, okay, everybody that
Yeah,
took
no
pictures that
way.
night,
No way.
don't post them.
No.
Nobody's. Nobody's going to adhere to
Listen,
that.
you couldn't get 5 adults to
No, no.
cooperate with that. Never mind anywhere between 100 and 300 kids. No way. Hey, sweet Melissa, how you doing? Um, yeah, that is, and the Sammy. Oh my God. Well, she did. She did do an interview. This was very soon after Kylie went missing. Um, she went on. I'm not even going to say the channel or the podcast because I think the guy is a complete tool, and I'm not giving him the mention. But it was, I think, the only interview that Miss Sammy did. I mean, were she an adult, I might read into that a little more nefarious motives, but I don't know. I mean, she seemed to be very outgoing, probably like all these kids, likes the attention. And boy, I tell you what, though, her parents, can you imagine how they must feel now? Oh my God. Knowing
Oh,
that
yeah.
she is on record because and she was 18, so it's not even going to be like they can say, "Oh, well, yeah, she didn't have our consent." And
Oh, yeah.
I haven't seen it,
That's
the
bad.
interview. I don't know what she said, but she's I hope she was happy with what she said because she's going to have to own it. So, I don't know. Maybe I'll try and go look at that. I'm assuming it's still up. Okay, I think everything I had written down about that we went over. Summer is a definite no. Let's see. Oh, Lori Vallow's son, Colby Ryan. Have you heard about him?
No.
He was arrested on SA. I believe he is still in jail. In fact, just before you and I came on, I was watching his I guess it would have been his arraignment. Although I didn't hear his plea. Yes, he has been 2 charges of SA against his wife, who they are in the process of divorcing, I believe. I know they're definitely separated. I'm assuming divorce is definitely in the works now if it wasn't before. And the only other thing I can add on that was interesting in the arraignment that I was watching before we came on. I've never heard this before. The judge told him that he ought to thank the deputies in the courtroom because they, how did he put it? The other inmates are not going to know because of whatever the deputies said, and I don't know if they cleared the room, but he certainly made it say, he definitely told him that he should thank the deputies and made it sound like the other inmates were not, because of whatever they did, the other inmates were not going to know, at least not right away, what his charges are. I thought that was interesting. Can you imagine? I mean, that bitch is nutty as a fruitcake. And I think she's evil too. I don't buy into her, her little vacation that she had for how many months? Do you remember how many months she was at the state hospital trying to how do they put it? Being restored to competency. It was several months, I know that.
Doe brother.
Yeah. I don't believe that
Mm-hmm.
shit for 1 minute. I think she's crazy like Fox. But can you
No.
imagine what it what it must have been like growing up with her for your mother? Are you with me?
Ugh, my internet's bizarre.
Oh,
Okay, I think I'm back.
yeah, you're
The
back.
bum. I think you
Oh,
are trying to be funny. Yes, of course, absolutely. I think the bum may be. I don't know if
oh,
it's a good troll or
jeez.
bad troll.
I
We'll
was
have to
gonna say,
see.
look
We'll
at the
see the bum. We'll
picture.
see how long you last.
Yeah, that's an interesting
We'll take
picture.
bets on it.
Oh, let's see what. Oh, here's another one. Beer Way Truth. Say stoner at must. Oh, well, the bum seems to know a lot, or at least the bum thinks they know a lot.
Hmm.
Um,
We'll see how long the bum makes it.
yeah,
Hey, Geo,
whatever.
good to
I
see
don't.
you.
It's yeah. As long as the bum doesn't get too out of control. Um,
Yeah, but yeah, Lori was a weirdo from the start. I don't know, but I guess what makes it sad is because there are those videos of her, at least her daughter, when her brother was honed down, and watching her daughter's interview, just talking about it. She was just
oh
so down to earth and just such a sweet, just regular little gal, and just how in the
yeah.
world? Oh gosh, it's just pitiful.
I I mean, good lord, how many people? I'm trying to count in my head here. How many people have a nasty habit of expiring when they're in her
Yeah,
airspace, shall we
for
say?
sure.
Let's see. There was the brother, the
Mm-hmm.
first, or well, I don't think he was her first husband. Chad's wife, her
Mm-hmm.
two children. That's five.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I God, I can't even imagine what what it had to have been like.
Yeah, you can tell just when she talks, she's very sociopathic, psychopathic, things like
Yeah,
that. But
yeah.
people that are like Lori Vallow, people that do have what I believe, and I'm no psychologist, no psychiatrist, but I do believe that those kind of people she just has a really her attitude is just so stank. She's just so I don't know. There's something about her rubs me the wrong way. But people like that most certainly are not the last ones laughing. I assure you of that. So I have no doubt that when you're like that and you get that holier than thou attitude, and by holier than thou I mean thinking you can just do whatever you please and drop people off like flies, you know, it's coming and
I
it's gonna
felt
come
so
hard.
bad for the grandparents of
Mhm.
JJ. And how did that go? He was the I'm trying to remember how JJ Vallow, he was the biological son of her brother-in-law. I think that's how that went. And then she and that husband adopted him.
Man, oh man. Ange, we don't have memberships yet. We will once we are um to the monetization stage. So The minute that happens, yeah, we'll definitely offer memberships. Thank you for asking, for
Yeah, that would
sure.
be cool.
Yeah, and Janica said she is gonna eat. She shot an email of the painted rabbit,
Oh, okay. Oh,
and
of
that's
course.
awesome.
Yes,
We
I know.
love it. Gosh, I just ooh. When I see Lori's
What?
face, I just want to
Oh
maul
God, have you
her.
seen her lately?
No.
Oh my God, I did, and I thought it was absolutely hilarious. When I saw her, okay, she's using Kool-Aid for makeup. It's got
Oh, for Pete's
her
sake.
cheeks, I swear. Okay, now I get it. They're in jail and they have to, she doesn't have Sephora in the commissary. It looked like she,
Did
like,
you just say they don't have Sephora in the
yeah, no Sephora in the
commissary?
commissary. So they have to
Maybe
use,
you should corner that market. That's an idea.
oh, well, I mean, yeah, that
Ooh,
is an
you could call it Crimes and Fashion. That could be the brand for jail.
she uses, I swear to you, it's got to be Kool-Aid or whatever, like, red drink mix. She was using it on her cheeks, and it doesn't blend very well. Let's just say that. She looked like some kind of psycho Raggedy Ann. um
Oh,
and the brows that she's apparently, what they do have, I think, are tweezers, because she has seemingly plucked every eyebrow follicle she ever had. um no hair dye. Lori lori was very attractive out in the free world, but oh my goodness, yeah, kind of like myself. She apparently was a lot of smoke and mirrors.
you're crazy. Yeah, she's a big doucher. I would like to fight her. If I was a fighting woman, she would
Throat
be,
punch, you're gonna throat punch
well,
her?
Casey Anthony would be first. I definitely would like to fight her. I would like to fight her like every weekend for
Well, if
about,
you come
I don't know,
visit
a few
me,
months.
we don't, I'm not that far away from where, well, where we last heard Casey resides. I
Oh
think she
wow.
still is one of the most hated women in the
Oh
country.
yeah, the
Can you
running joke is
imagine?
good. I hope everybody has a good night except for Casey Anthony. She's we need to do a whole entire show about her.
Oh
Oh good
yes,
gosh.
yes. That. Ooh, I'm writing that down so that we do it and don't forget.
Yeah, because that heifer has got me fired up. It's never left
Do you
me.
think her dad messed with her?
No,
No, I don't think.
absolutely not. I think she's full of shit. I think
Yep.
that he coddled her. I think that on every interview that I've seen, he has way more so than the mother. She kind of gives outs for things for Casey, but the dad does not. In the most somber way, he basically says he thinks she did it without, just coming down to brass tacks.
Yeah, he definitely seemed truly just crushed and destroyed that
Yeah,
she did what she did as far as accusing him. I don't think he
yeah.
ever I don't think he ever touched that. Oh God.
No, no, it was her skank lawyer and herself that came up with that, and she paid her lawyer with,
I was
not
going to just
cash.
ask you, do you think
So she's pretty
that
giving with herself.
oh yeah, yeah. Do you so you believe that about the two of them?
I do. Ooh,
Yeah.
Foxy Noxy, that the bum,
Oh,
good
yeah.
one.
Yep.
That's a really good one. You never hear nobody talk about. Something about her as
That's
well makes
true.
me want to smack that smug look off her face. I know she can't help it. I get
Yeah,
it.
I couldn't stand her either when
Ooh.
that happened. How about oh, in fact, I think I just saw Netflix is done a 20-year later special. Do you remember Louise Woodward, the nanny that was,
Yes.
it's been 20 years. She walked, didn't
Is
she?
that I think she did was
She
she
was
from the UK or
English.
somewhere?
Yes.
I watched that
Yep.
the other night on
Hmm.
Ye Old Discovery Plus, as a matter of
Yep.
fact.
Yep.
And yeah, I wanted to smack the taste out of her mouth too. There's something, look, I'm not being mean, but this is the channel where we just say what we would in real life. And here's the thing. I think
Exactly.
it seems to be these smug looking douchers that do these crazy things. So
Yep.
if you look like these people, I'm not having it. That's the only thing I can detect is the guilt in people like that. Eileen Warnes, uh,
Oh,
killed
Lord
for
have
pleasure,
mercy.
or I think maybe self defense in a
Both.
couple of them,
I think it
but
was
I think
both.
it. Yeah, I think maybe the first one, maybe self defense, or maybe whatever. But I think she was doomed from the start, which doesn't
Oh,
give her an
Lord.
out.
She had a
But I do feel bad
horrible,
for her. I know
she
that
had,
sounds stupid, but I do feel sad for her.
God, she had oh my God. I mean, she had a tragic, tragic
Yes, she did.
upbringing. Uh, God almighty. I think,
Oh, look at Ange taking it for Eileen. Said, I think it was self defense. I want you as an attorney, Ange, because
uh,
she was crazy. She was mental. I do think she should have been maybe put.
very damaged. Very
Yeah,
damaged
I think she should have
woman.
been put in an insane asylum. I don't know what good that would have done, but certainly, and I want to say this if it makes anybody feel any better, and this is not victim blaming or shaming, but to put this on a man's perspective, side, if you're picking up a hooker, odds are they do have mental issues, so you are putting yourself in danger. Just let me say that because it didn't turn out well for those guys. Mind you, there was a preacher, it was said, that picked her up that was going to offer her help. Now, is that true?
Really?
Who knows? Yeah, that's how it's been portrayed, that he had offered her help, and I mean, who knows?
I
She was
don't seem to remember the preacher.
I think she was hitchhiking. Allegedly, he
Oh
picked
my
her up.
God, all over. She went
Yeah,
all
yeah.
over Florida. Yep.
Oh, yeah. She was boogieing down.
I
So, yeah.
remember I remember hearing that she came to Florida as soon as she could.
Hmm.
Um
Yep. It
because
was nice and warm.
yes, because she actually had slept outside quite a bit.
Yeah,
In where was she
absolutely.
from? Was it Michigan? It was
I think
someplace that got
so.
bitter ass cold.
Yes. And yes, they did. She is now square with the house, so to speak.
Who? Eileen?
Eileen Warnes.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
She is,
she's
she went to fly on that big mothership, as she said, before she croaked her last words.
yeah, I think she had old Sparky too.
Uh-huh.
Or was she lethal injection?
Oh, no, no.
I
Yeah, I
think
think,
she
yeah.
had
I
the
think
electric
she was
chair.
lethally injected. I may
Oh,
be
okay.
wrong, but I remember her last words were, she was going to the mothership and she would see everybody like fireworks on the 4th of July or something really bizarre. And they played the song. Gosh, what was that song? I Walk These Streets. Carnival, I think, was the name of the song. And every time I hear it, I think Eileen Warnes. I have a little kindness in my heart for her. Do not ask me why. I don't know, but I just felt bad for her.
Well, I mean, she had a. I mean, honestly, you can't have an well, upbringing isn't exactly the word, but an
Yeah.
existence to
Hmm.
have that kind of. She really was doomed from the start. It
Oh, yeah.
just unlike Casey Anthony, who was just a spoiled bitch.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, here's the thing. Even if, let's just say, for sake of story, even if the drowning thing actually happened, and let's
That
say,
child did not drown.
no, absolutely not. But let's just say, for sake of story, it did. That still does not negate from the fact that she was partying and getting her tattoos and whooping it up at the bar and having the beautiful life, knowing that her daughter had met her demise. I mean, either way you slice it, there's no excuse. There's nothing she could say to redeem the fact or change the fact that during that month time period or whatever, that she was out doing her thing, whether she knew what happened or not. Her kid wasn't with her. She certainly
Yeah.
didn't seem like she was in mourning of any sort. She was whooping it up. She makes me angry.
Yeah, you have to be devoid of conscience to
Hmm.
to do any. You know, interestingly enough, you never, ever, ever hear, you don't hear about any of them much anymore, but the brother, you never hear anything about the brother.
No,
And like, where is
no.
he? I believe the parents still live in that home.
Oh, I'm sure.
You
I would say
know,
they do.
people still drive by there.
Oh, guaranteed they
I
do.
mean, if you were, I don't know, I mean, if you came to Orlando on vacation and it wasn't, too far for you to go and just make a little detour,
Mm-hmm.
would you? Would you want to see it?
Oh, yeah,
Even all these
100%.
years later?
Yes, that is what my husband and I are plan that we had to push up to around January. We're gonna head to California, and the route that we're taking, I'm stopping at Lacey Peterson's house, John Benet Ramsey's, just hitting all of those spots along the way, all the way to Spawn Ranch and the Manson areas, and then all the way back. We're going to take an alternate route and stop at different places on the way back too. And we wanted to do
California,
East Coast.
California is so beautiful.
Oh, I know. I'm probably not going to want to
Oh,
leave, but I do want
it,
to do East Coast. I want to go to the Amityville house. I want to go
right.
to the Last Resort where Eileen Warnes hung out. I want to go to all of Ted Bundy's hot spots. Hit all the serial killer, true crime world tour, so to speak.
Oh, that reminds me of what you told me you were thinking about your decor. Remember?
Oh yeah, I need to do that ASAP.
I think that is. I love that in a crazy kind of way. Well, remind me
Yeah.
before you go. I will tell you some awesome stops that are haunted
Yes.
in California. Well,
Oh, please do.
I've been to a lot of places that are on, that show up on those shows.
Yeah.
Like the Goldfield Hotel in Nevada. That
Mhm.
was that was crazy. I found myself in front of there and peering through the windows long before I ever saw it on Ghost Adventures or any of those shows. And I will tell you,
Wow.
it was funny because I was on a road trip and had left Las Vegas and was going to Tahoe to go skiing. And I thought, well, I think I'll start looking for it. Was starting to snow, and I thought, well, we were going to try and do it all in one shot. And I was like, well, I think we better find a place to stop for the night. So this was so long ago. I was on a BlackBerry, so I put it into the BlackBerry, and I put in. I see that the next town is Goldfield, and it was, I don't even remember how many miles, but I put in Goldfield, Nevada Hotel, and that's what came up. And I was like, okay. Well,
Wow.
then I wanted to, you know, see it because I've always been into urban exploration.
Oh
And
yeah.
I will tell you that the town itself is super creepy because there are still a handful of people that live there, but it really is just an abandoned old mining town. And right next to the hotel is the cemetery. And when we pulled up
Mm.
there, I the doors were boarded with plywood, but the windows were only partially boarded. And I will tell you, there definitely was a weird vibe. Like it was
Wow.
it was creepy. And on the way out of town to the next place we could stop, because it was really starting to snow and the weather was getting bad. Um, One of those places has also made it on to the ghost shows. The Clown Motel.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. That is very creepy and strange. And what is that town? Virginia City, I think it's called. That's where the Washoe Club is. Just that, definitely stop there if you're anywhere even close. There's tons of good stuff and
Gosh, yes.
out west. Yeah. Well, my friend, I think I have exhausted yeah, my little list of
Gosh, I think we
things I had. We
we
are going to
had.
do the Casey Anthony though. I
Oh
am.
yeah, I definitely would love to do that. I have a lot, a lot to say about her and the whole thing. The whole thing. So many red flags with her.
Where? Oh, when I come in December, where are we going to go?
Oh my gosh, we
I don't
definitely
even know
need.
what's around.
Oh goodness, so many things. We definitely need to get a good itinerary of something really
Yes,
amazing to do.
yes, we will. Yeah, I'll be in
Oh gosh.
Knoxville. I think I usually go the day after Christmas and stay like a week, but I told my husband that I was going to take a detour for a couple days. I told Days I'd come and get
Yes.
her.
Yeah.
Hey Days, how far are you from Knoxville? How long? I think the last time I looked, it was an hour and a half, maybe, or 2 hours. I don't think it was too far. And then you're just what, an hour or
Uh,
so from.
yeah, about an hour, hour and a half or
Okay,
something like that. My
okay.
gosh, we need to go to somewhere haunted, but also a spa. Is there a haunted spa?
Is there like a is there a good like a spa, any kind of hotel within
Oh, I'm
a decent
sure.
distance? Yeah, we can go stay someplace that's got
Yeah.
a spa and a lobby bar.
Good gosh, yes. That would be
Okay,
awesome.
Days said an hour and a half. Okay, oh, that's so doable. So an hour and a half, and then oh my god, yes, that's gonna be. I'm gonna get my Days wants to let her, she wants to put in for time off of work, obviously, ASAP. So, um, I told her that I'll get it nailed down. Are you good anytime
Yeah.
after? Like, do you have family or anything that comes for Christmas? I don't want to.
No, we can.
Okay,
I can totally,
okay.
totally work around anything. And a meet and greet in California, sure, absolutely, I'd love it. But
Oh, that
yeah,
would be
we need to. Yeah, we need to get together and find a good little
okay.
hot spot.
Yes,
Absolutely,
well, how about we'll leave that to you. You find us a place to go um
I sure will.
for, 1 or 2 nights. And then I'll drop Days on my way back to Knoxville. I'll drop her
Yeah,
back off.
excellent. Yeah,
Yes.
gosh, that's exciting.
I know, I think it'll be
Yes.
great.
Oh yeah. Gosh, you and Dazed are so teensy. I could probably just put you all on my. Pick you up like babies, like little twin babies, and carry you all around.
What did you call it today? That was hilarious. When we
Oh
were
gosh.
earlier. What did you call it? Country mouse and city mouse. Oh yeah,
It
we were talking about
is.
the snow, and you said we're going to go roll in the snow. Now, last time I was in Knoxville, was it last year? Yes, and it was. Oh my God, it was not much cooler than Florida. So I'm hoping for some cool weather
Oh yeah. That would be amazing.
days. I'm just short. I bet I'm shorter than you.
Phew. I'm
We'll know
taller than
soon
both of you
enough.
stacked on end. Oh
Oh,
gosh.
all right. So I wrote down Casey Anthony for another time.
Yeah,
Um,
totally. Yeah.
yep. And I keep a little running list. So, and y'all, the email that is scrolling across the bottom of the screen, by all means, if you all
Hmm.
have any suggestions or any tips you want to give us. Oh, one other thing that when I said tips, it made me think of it. That video you were telling me about,
Yes. Uh-huh.
Um,
Thumbs up or thumbs down?
very similar, but it, and obviously it was not a great clear image,
Right, yeah.
either one. But the one thing that made me say, I'm not sure, is the nostrils looked
A
quite a
little
bit different.
wider on the
Mm-hmm.
family.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but anything's possible.
Yeah.
All right.
Goodness.
Well,
Well, guys, I'm gonna drop down and let Lisa take us
yes.
out as usual. But thank you all for being here. It's been a blast. This true crime stuff, like in this kind of fashion, where it's rapid fire, different ones, so we don't like
Yeah.
stir on one too long. But
A little bit here,
looking,
a little bit there.
oh yeah, a little dab will do ya. I'm definitely looking forward to Casey Anthony because she's like 40 million people wrapped up into one. Gonna
And they're
tear
all
into
hating.
her.
And they all
Maybe
suck.
Maybe she'll show up on panel. Wouldn't that be good?
Ooh. Oh, yeah, maybe. I think we
Ah,
have a
good.
better chance of me riding in on a unicorn.
Either one. I'm down for either one. And Dave's is actually having a karaoke night at 9 o'clock.
Oh,
If yeah, we can do the after party over there. Bring your own songs and yeah. But I'm gonna drop down. It's been a
okay.
blast as always. So I
All
will see you
right. I
guys in the
will
next
talk to
one.
you tomorrow or the next day.
Absolutely.
All right. Bye. All right, everybody. That's going to do it for me, too. Thank you so much, you guys. This was a lot of fun. And the email going across the bottom, send us your tips and suggestions. All right, everybody. Have a great weekend, and we will see you soon.